I was struggling to define my niche and connect with the right audience. But once I took this challenge, I had a breakthrough.
The how for me was clincher. This is where to go to look, this is what it looks like, etc.
To just know how to do it has been such a blessing. And I want to say thank you guys.
So far, honestly, is realizing that all of the materials have been provided to me through life. And it's just a matter of repackaging, reframing how I use those raw materials to speak to an audience that's already looking for me that I had no clue was there.
Something that's always hindered me is I got to make it look perfect, because that's how I've always looked at my life. Like I had to prove something to somebody, when really I was trying to prove it to myself. And what I realized in this training is that God's already equipped me with everything I got.
And I am inspired and I am motivated to do what I can do to create a niche in ministry that allow me to take my gifts and likewise be a little bit more open to utilizing those skills and gifts in audiences that can impact the kingdom.
This felt like lifting the veil.
I can't remember the last time I spent $47 and got this much value.
These last 3 days have been full of a lot of game, a lot of gems.
Like, this has helped me get out of my own head.
You've given us the cheat codes.
This is really validating the calling that I believe God has been, nudging me to say, it's time to come up higher.
Now I know how to obtain those speaking engagements, who I need to contact, what I need to send. So this was absolutely beneficial to everything I want to do going forward.
There were multiple unlocks for me.
I walked away with just seeing my work and my voice and my purpose.
Both Pierre and Kimon are experts in what they do, and them together provide us with the opportunity to become experts in a speaking space in what we do uniquely and confidently.
Yeah, if you haven't joined this challenge or you haven't joined the academy, you're wasting time. Do it now.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. Pierre, how you doing, my brother?
Listen, man, that last part of that video, that last clip, if you haven't joined, if you haven't hung out with us, you wasting time.
Yeah,
you wasting time, man. I'm feeling good on Wednesday, man.
I know, man. Listen, folks, it's Wednesday, June 18th. If you're on watching us live, just put it in the comments where you are. We want to know the places that you are, the people who are on. We want to give you a shout out so that we can engage with you, because we're on here this evening to share, but we're also on to take questions, to have dialogue with you. So if you're on, put it in the comments where you are. I'll just start off. I'm in Tampa, Florida. It is hot as whatever out here in Tampa. And so that's where I am. Pierre, how about you?
Yeah, Laurel, Maryland, man. It's not hot. It's been rainy.
Really?
But yeah, it's not bad. Had some stuff. Man, I thought my power was going out today. The way that thunder was clapping, man.
Yeah,
I thought it was going out today, but we here.
Yeah, I heard about that. Well, folks, that's where we are. Hope that you are safe wherever you are, folks, and put it in the chat where you are. This evening, we're on to talk about 3 myths that are blocking you from paid speaking and training and how to break through. Because we want you to break through. I think you want to break through, but beyond that, there are people out there in the world who are looking for what you have, and they need you to break through. So we're going to talk about 3 myths, because here's what I believe, and here's what we believe. We believe that more of us have a message, have expertise, have experiences that are needed in the marketplace, that are needed by companies, that are needed by organizations, than are actually sharing it. And the reason we aren't sharing it isn't because we're not good enough. The reason we aren't sharing it isn't because we don't have the right skills. The reason we aren't sharing it is because there's some myths that we've believed that have probably been passed down to us from someone else, or maybe we made it up. And those 3 myths, if we can overcome those, we will move into actually sharing, actually making impact. And here's one more, actually making income. So that's why we're on here to talk with you this evening.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. One of the cool things about watching the video, and if you're just joining us, we'll make sure to throw those videos up a couple more times so you can see them. One of the cool things about watching the videos, man, seeing people that we've coached in our 2 cohorts, man, actually do it, actually execute, DM us, post it in the community. Hey, I'm on my 2nd speaking engagement. Here's some highlight, here's some notes, here's the feedback. It's one thing to just share the information and walk you through our frameworks and even coach you in person in an intense way. It's another thing when you take action and you follow up and you follow through and you put the work in. Something you shared, man, a couple weeks ago, and I wrote it down to make sure that we mention it, is that how did you put it? All work works?
Yeah. I heard this from someone else, right? I was watching someone on Instagram. She said, all work works. It either works for you or it works on you, right?
Yeah.
So all work works. So it's either going to work to help to build you up as a person, build your resilience, build your skills, build your story, or it's going to work for the goal that you had in mind. And sometimes we're so focused just on that goal that we don't see anything else.
Woo. Yeah, I'm ready to get into the myths, man. Ready to help some people and ready to connect. Our community has been growing like crazy.
Yeah.
We have been seeing people take just amazing strides, and even the promise connected to our challenge, having someone DM and say, "Hey, I did it. Like I did it in record time." So
and the promise that's connected to the challenge, we'll share more about the challenge later, is that you can get paid $5,000 to speak, to train, to be out in the marketplace, not a church organization, not for a preaching engagement, not for a week of preaching, but for one engagement. And we saw that possible and beyond possible for people in our community. And we'll share with you these myths because we believe if we remove those, more of us will go after these opportunities.
And when we say not church engagements, I want to clarify, like I want us to be distinctly clear, because there's something that's happening now, and I don't know if we'll share it now, or maybe we'll save it for the challenge if you join it. Something that happened to me as it relates to an inquiry about my services. When we say not a church, we're talking specifically about not sermons, because there are plenty of opportunities in faith-based circles to do training, to do keynotes, to do workshops, but are not sermons. And so when we say like ministry related or church related, primarily we're making the distinction between sermons, which in many cases are narrow and limited in honorarium size and scope, versus training and workshops and facilitation, which could happen in church environments, and their price points are different and the opportunities are different. We talk about that specifically in the challenge though, so we won't get into it too much today.
Yeah. All right, so Pierre, a myth, right? A myth is something that people hold on to, we believe, and because of our belief, and here's an important thing, our beliefs determine our behavior.
Yeah.
And our behavior reinforces that belief. Well,
Yep.
But if we could just interrupt that and say, okay, no, let's introduce some truth into the equation, it would actually change our behaviors, which then reinforce a new belief. And so that's what we came this evening to talk about. There are some myths that we in our church space, people who might be educators, people who may be social workers, people who are just, you have a heart to help people. You might believe this myth. And so this is why you think, oh, I can't get on a stage. I can't get into these opportunities. But let's call them out. So myth number one, Pierre, what is it? What is the myth that you've heard from people that holds them back? And maybe you even believed it at one point.
Myth number one, man, it's too hard to break into the speaking industry. That's myth number one, that it's too hard. And I wrestled with that, especially early on, and trying to figure out the whole thing about speaking in general. But the myth is that it's too hard. The truth is, it's actually work. And I think that's the thing that we confuse. And let me help some of y'all out. And I know Come On has a lot of perspective on this. When we coach people, and not just coaching people around speaking, faith-based leaders and entrepreneurs that go into the speaking market. We've been coaching people in different areas of life forever, for a very long time, going all the way back to graduate school. Here's the thing that we found to be the most consistent. Most consistently, people don't accomplish what they're looking to accomplish because they don't do the work.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't do the work.
Yeah.
So people ask me all the time. I remember talking to someone a couple years ago. He said, "Yo, man, I need to know if I start right now, like if I partner with you, if I invest in you." And I wasn't coaching people at the time. Like I was like, I don't even do that. But if I could convince you to coach me and to be into the speaking space, how long do you think it would take for me to just do it full time? And I said, well, how much discretionary time do you have? Well, he's working a 9 to 5, wife, kids, additional responsibilities. So you want to keep with the 9 to 5 at the pace? He said, yeah. They're like, this is my thing. I love it. It's my primary passion. I don't want to give that up, but I want to bring speaking along as I do this. I said, cool, man. I said, 2 years. He looked at me and said, 2 years. I said, yeah, 2 years. Because you only really have a couple of hours a week.
That's right.
To pour into this because you're working your 9 to 5. You have your other responsibility. You have your family. I do not encourage everybody to do what I did. I just quit my job and just dove into it. That's one variation of the story. But I said, with all these other responsibilities, if you commit to a handful of hours a week, by 2 years, you'll be in a steady space. You'll be really, really good. And he was like, nah, man, I don't. And that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. He went away sorrowful.
And he's still for the most part, he's still in the same space that he was a couple years ago when I told him, if you put the work in for 2 years, then you'll be in a steady space, but you commit to it.
Yeah.
So people see, they see the ad, they see the videos, they see people like you and me hanging out, and they think, oh, it's so easy. And then we give them the work part of the equation, and they're like, nah.
So myth
I'm not
number
quite
one
sure.
is it's hard. And I think some of the reasons why we think it's hard is we see people who have maybe bigger platforms or whatever. And we think, well, I can't do that. And what you're saying is it's not hard. It's just simple, repeatable processes that if we were to do them. Now, here is the interesting thing. And for anyone on here, have you ever thought to yourself, the reason why I can't break into professional speaking or professional training because it's too hard? Just put me in the comments. Just put a me in the comments. I want an honest person. I'm going to put me. If I were not on here live, I would put me, because that's the thing that I think it is hard. It is, it's just difficult. And I think the challenge, Pierre, what you mentioned, that person, is it was time. Now, the 2 years, we think it's going to take 2 years. Now, 2 years is going to pass. Whether you invested in the thing that you want to get accomplished or you don't. It's just a matter of what you're going to spend those 2 years doing, and will you have the outcome at the end of the 2 years that you want for yourself. And so this myth that it's hard is dispelled by the person right in front of us, you, Pierre. Was it hard? Was it hard for you, or was it just work?
That was it, right? The hard part, and I don't know who said it, like we radically overestimate what we can do in a day. We radically underestimate what we can do in a month or a year or something like that. I don't know who said it. What, and we talk about this in one of our coaching groups. What I had to be okay with was giving up certain things. Because it was time and it was consistent effort. And I had to be okay with saying, man, every Sunday I watch football. I watched 3 games of football on Sunday. Okay, cool, for a couple months. You're going to take those with 6 hours
Mhm.
plus, and you're going to invest those 6 hours into the repeatable actions that you need to grow what you're looking to grow. So when we all look for a easy, fast way
Mhm.
to get something done, and most of us know from personal experience, if we didn't invest in it, if we didn't invest time and energy and effort into it, we don't value it as much. We don't appreciate it as much unless we had to go through something to accomplish it. So, but the big hard thing was actually in my head. It was my mindset
That's the word right there.
and
That's the
working
word right
through the
there.
mindset.
And
And I
and
know that's one of the things we talk about in the challenge
yeah.
too.
And just listen, we're gonna peel back just a little bit of what you get in the challenge
Yeah.
because I think that's the biggest obstacle there, Pierre. We tell ourselves it's gonna be hard, so it's hard, right? And
You know,
because we tell ourselves it's going to be hard, we don't even try it. We
let
don't
me
even
tell
try it.
you.
Yeah.
Oh man, listen, I was something I started sharing with my daughter, and she feels like it's corny. I feel like it's corny. It's like a dad thing,
Mhm.
right? With brain science tells us that our brains really can't distinguish between our brain can't distinguish between fantasy and reality.
Mhm.
So if the things that you say to yourself, your brain, oh, I'm just joking. Well, your
Mhm.
brain has registered that as a piece of reality. So
Yeah.
this thing with my daughter, we started saying, this is easy. All right. This is easy.
Yeah.
And if it's not easy, I will work until it becomes easy.
Ooh, that's so good. Come, somebody put that in the chat. This is easy. If it's not easy, I'll work until it's easy. Come on now. Somebody, you gotta
So
write that in the chat for me, please.
we
Put that
started saying it, and she's like, Dad, that's so cheesy. Dad, that's so corny. I was like, okay, it's fine. So every time she would come to me, she would say, things about homework or assignment project. Man, I can't. This is hard. And I said, is it hard? And she's like, this is easy. And if it's not easy, I will work until it becomes easy. And it radically changes your mindset on how you approach it. It means it's doable. I haven't reached it yet, but there's an opportunity for me to get to the place where I don't feel the same way about this thing that I feel right now.
I love it. All right. So we're talking about 3 myths that
Yep.
stop you, that are blocking you from paid speaking and training. And Pierre, somebody just hopped on here. They just saw the Facebook, they just saw the Instagram. And when
Yeah.
we hear paid speaking and training, okay, just kind of tell us what some of the numbers we're talking about, just so that that person doesn't click out. What kind of numbers? Because people need to understand kind of like the framing of this. What are the
Yeah.
opportunities out there?
Just baseline, like for a lot of people, right? And I know right now, just industries are being professional speaking, training, coaching is being decimated
Mhm.
in some ways because of just the funding crisis. But at a baseline level, right? You could easily for a couple of hours of a training workshop walk away with $2,000-3,000.
Wow.
And that's for somebody who doesn't have any of the framing, any of the background, any of the context, and without an ability to even push back. That $2,000-3,000 is a walk in the park to acquire. For a lot of people, you heard that and you were like, what, $2,000-3,000 for a couple hours of work? Yeah.
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 What is that for the hourly rate, right? And understand, right? Let's just like we're
Right.
not being paid for the hours we spend, but for the transformation we help.
Yep.
I see Dr. Harold Goodlow on here. He says it, right? This is easy. If it's not easy, I will work until it becomes easy. Good to see you on
Mhm.
here, Doc. Good to see you on
Yeah.
here. Yeah. All right. So that's the first. So we're talking about numbers in the thousands that people are looking for. Organizations, companies, events are looking for speakers, trainers. And let me just tell you, when you come to the challenge, we'll open your mind to what are some of the other things you're looking for. They're not just looking for the person on the stage for the keynote. There's so many rooms, so many ways, even on that same stage, that you're looking for people to do the same thing that you're doing on a week-to-week basis that you need to hear about in the challenge. But what is myth number 2, Pierre, that stops people, that's blocking someone watching this from paid speaking and training?
Yeah. So myth number 2, and I see I see my guy Joe Pettit is on, phenomenal speaker, phenomenal trainer. And we've talked about a lot of these methods too, just over time. So one is too hard. Number two is, and it's too complicated. I need bells, I need whistles, I need cinnamon powder, I need sprinkles, I need cream filling, I need balloons and streamers behind me. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Listen,
I love it. Say the thing, man. You have this phrase.
I was about to set you up with this. So I had an opportunity. There's a lady, very successful entrepreneur, $1 million business. And I interviewed her the other day, Pierre. And this is going to bless someone, right? You're on here. You are getting started. I interviewed her at one of her locations for her cupcake business. And this is the line. There's some things you'll need one day, but you don't need them on day one. There's some things you'll need one day, but you don't need them on day one. So what she did, Pierre, during the interview is she turned her camera around. She showed me this dorm-sized refrigerator that she started the business with.
I love that.
She kept it. And then she turned the camera around and showed me industry, like the industrial refrigerator. There's a refrigerator. There's a refrigerator. She counted at least 4 or 5 of them that she has now, right? The one day, but she showed me what she started with day one. And for a lot of us, when we talk about breaking in and speaking and training, what we think and we look at are the people who might be in day, I can't count it, right? And you're thinking, I need that on day one to get started, to get paid, to get out there. So talk to us about that myth and how it holds us back and even how to break through it, Pierre.
I love it what Joe said, man. He said, great point. It's not that complicated. It's not that deep. Just get reps, get repetition, and get feedback.
I love it. I love it.
The easiest way, and I'm in the middle of something I haven't officially launched right now. Right, I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of the great Joe Pettit, who's the tour king. So I'm getting ready to announce a tour in just a little bit, and to prep for this tour, I'm doing the same thing that we teach people in our challenge. One simple core idea.
Yeah.
This is what I teach on. This is what I speak on. This is what I train on. And here's the outcome. And literally thousands of DMs. Let's tear it back because you're just getting started. Dozens of DMs, dozens of emails. And I know a lot of us in the digital age don't want to talk to people, and dozens of phone calls. Because listen, you can't expect people to spend money with you at the price point that we're talking about, at least even a couple of $1,000s, if you're not willing to have a conversation with them on the phone.
Yeah.
Just flat out. But that process is we think we need, right? Both you and I have teleprompters.
Yeah.
Teleprompters.
Yeah.
I got 3 cameras set up here. I got the big old
my wife got for me
huge
here.
light, right?
Yeah.
Got the curtain in the background. Got 2 lights over here.
Microphone, all of
right.
that.
Got the Rodecaster. Got the Stream Deck down here. Got the pod mic. When I started, I had some Apple headphones.
Let me tell you something here. I'm gonna just make a confession. I made more content when I had less.
Less technology.
I made more content when I had less of a setup, because what I realized, I used to think I'll make more when I have what I needed then was to just get the reps in, just to talk to people, just to get my message out there and get it out there in ways that sometimes there was one person watching, but even if 0 people were watching, the most important thing was I was the one presenting. I was listening to me. I was my first audience. And I think for all of us, when we talk about, this is online, but we're talking about even moving out as a speaker, as a trainer, you think there's all of this stuff that I need. But the main thing you need is a clear message that solves a problem. That is the most important thing you need. And for a lot of us, that's what we're lacking, Pierre. I don't know my clear message, and I don't know my audience for that message, right? And I'll just say it, right? Because we're here. That's to me the biggest thing that people leave our challenge with. They get to know, here is my message. This is what I've been saying. And this is how I say it in a way that companies, organizations, event planners, that they now resonate with that message. But you don't need all of the fancy stuff. It helps, right? It makes me look a little better, but I got to say what I have to say. And that's most important.
Yeah, it helps. And just recognizing that it doesn't, at the early stage, for people who are just really just making the transition into speaking or training or facilitation, we've been there when people when we talked about this over the years, who have all the stuff. They got lights, camera, action, they got cinnamon powder, but they can't clearly articulate what problem they solve.
Yeah.
And that there's a couple of groups of people who it resonates with. As part of our framing and our challenge, but what do I need to do to speak to? In every organization, there's 3 categories of people who we need to connect with. And what do I need to?
Hold on, don't say that. Somebody get your pen out, write this down, because Pierre about to, and when he starts touching them glasses, you're gonna get some. All right, give it to us.
I'm gonna give you all this. In every organization, you got 3 categories of people. You have the audience, the people who will primarily listen to you speak or be a part of your training. You have your advocate, and you have your buyer.
Ooh.
Your audience, your advocate, and your buyer.
Type that in the comments.
Recognize audience, advocate, buyer. Most times when we're working on trying to reach out to organizations, we are only thinking about the people who are going to be sitting in the room. We're only thinking about the audience. So we wanted to be good. Yeah, Clustine, the glasses. You wanted to be, man, I want my slides to be amazing, and I want them to feel good, and I want them to connect with what I'm saying, and I want sometimes that verbal affirmation that it's resonating with them. Cool, that's great. The buyer, the person who's actually going to sign the check, who's going to pay the invoice, who's going to give the green light for you to come to the organization, wants to know very simply, I don't care about your slides. I don't even really care about the amazing stories. I don't even really care where you spoke at before. I want to know, when my group spends 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 3 hours with you, what problem are you going to solve?
Yep.
That I don't care if you get there with a paper airplane or a hot air balloon. Clearly articulating at the end of this 45 minutes, at the end of this 60 minutes, at the end of these 2 hours or 3 days together, here is what your people will think about. Here's how they will feel. Here's what they'll be prepared to do. And this is how it will impact your company.
Yep. Let me give you a principle here. People would rather give you their money than hold on to their problems.
Oh, listen.
So as let's say I'll pick something out the hat. You know how to mobilize a team and get people engaged. If someone is working with an organization, they're leading a team, and they cannot get people engaged, they can't get them to work as a team. Every day, that problem doesn't get any easier, it gets harder. So if you now have a solution to that problem, they would rather pay you the money that you're asking for to come train them, to come do a presentation on it, to come facilitate a workshop with them, than hold on to their money. They'd rather get rid of the problem, right, through the work that you do, than hold on to their funds.
So I did a training a couple of months ago, and one of the things that I put in the proposal, it was first in the conversation, but in the proposal I said I provide a safe space to have the much needed conversations that allow teams to surface problems, to deal with conflict, and to move forward. That was what I clearly articulated in our prep meetings and then in my proposal documents. So we had the session. I did a debrief call or follow-up call with the client today.
We getting breaking news.
And I said, hey, so, we do these calls. I know we wanted to schedule it closer to the engagement, but life happens. We got here. I want to know feedback. I want to know what's still resonating. I want to know what could we have done better, right? Don't be afraid of asking that question. What could we have done better? And she said, all positive reviews, everyone. Months later, people are still talking about that training experience and comparing it to other training experiences that we've had from just on other topics. And then she said, in that training, we were able to bring up challenges that everybody knew were there, but we just kind of been hiding and skirting around. But we were able to bring them up. We were able to be open and honest. We even had intense moments of disagreement and reflection, but it was safe for us to do that.
Yeah.
And it allowed us now to grow stronger as a team and to deal with some of the challenges that kind of been sitting for a while. Well, that's what I promised.
Yeah.
I promised that was going to happen. Fulfill the promise. Now her testimonial is going to be, they keep their promise. When they say, or when Pierre says his work does this for the organization, you can take that to the bank because it's going to happen. So clearly articulating what you can do for an organization, what's the outcome that's going to be, and then keeping that promise is so critical. And it's not complicated. It's not rinse and repeat. It's rinse, evaluate, adjust, and repeat.
I love
you
it. It's
got to get that feedback.
Yeah,
it's so crucial.
Yeah. So we're talking about 3 myths blocking you from paid speaking and training. And we went through myth number 1. It's too hard to break into the speaking industry. Myth number 2, it's too complicated. And we have one more. But before we share this one more, I do think it would be a good time for us to remind you that we do have the challenge coming up, the Monetize Your Ministry Speaking Challenge. It starts on this Sunday. All right. So we're starting on Sunday this time. We've done it Monday to Wednesday, but we're moving into Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, running till Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now, there are 2 levels this time, but I want to make sure we clear this up. There's a general admission, and general admission is kind of like this. You get to type in the comments, and we may see your comment, and you only have access to being inside of the Facebook group and asking questions in there. And you only have access to an hour and no replays. Now, the second level is the VIP level. And I don't know if anyone would raise their hand and say, I'm not a VIP. Of course, you're a VIP. You're a very important person. And so we created a VIP level for people who really want to engage with this. And here's what the VIP level gives you. It gives you access to the challenge on Zoom so that we see you, you see us. You get to stop us and ask questions during the live training. You get to engage now in a second hour where you get coaching. So you can say, hey, Pierre, listen, I'm a counselor. And as a therapist, this is all the work I've done. I'm giving you a literal question someone asked. This is all the work I've done, and people have only paid me for this. How can I even get out there? And you get a chance to get questions answered that are specific to your situation. So that's what the VIP level gives you. It's a small investment of $47 until tomorrow at midnight. If you signed up for the general, you can bump up. If you did not sign up at all, my strong suggestion is that you do the VIP and you get access to the replays, because some of us might say, hey, Kimon, Pierre, I'm not available. Yeah, we want you to be on live, but if you miss anything, you get access to the replays for a week. So the VIP is the way to go. And in fact, Pierre, I thought it would just show that video one more time, just so people can see what's some of the reactions from folks who've been through the challenge.
This felt like lifting the veil.
I can't remember the last time I spent $47 and got this much value.
These last 3 days have been full of a lot of game, a lot of gems.
Like, this has helped me get out of my own head.
You've given us the cheat codes.
This is really validating the calling that I believe God has been, nudging me to say, it's time to come up higher.
Now I know how to obtain those speaking engagements, who I need to contact, what I need to send. So this was absolutely beneficial to everything I want to do going forward.
There were multiple unlocks for me.
I walked away with just seeing my work and my voice and my purpose.
Both Pierre and Kimon are experts in what they do, and them together provide us with the opportunity to become experts in a speaking space in what we do uniquely and confidently.
Yeah, if you haven't joined this challenge or you haven't joined the academy, you're wasting time. Do it now.
Y'all heard Ramona, right? If you didn't sign up, like, what are you doing?
I can't do it like she did, but you're wasting time.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Yeah. We've covered two myths already. We're gonna give you the third one. But Pierre, talk to us about the challenge, man. What are your thoughts?
Listen, so a couple things, man. First, man, did you see Kevin Wilson's TED Talk?
Yes. So the guy who said, I haven't spent 47, can't remember the last time I spent $47 and got so much value, just did a TED Talk.
Yeah.
That thing was amazing.
Phenomenal. Okay, so I promise you this: the coaching alone, one night of coaching alone, is worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Miguel just popped up in the chat there. Miguel, do me a favor, Miguel. Two things. One, can you just type Miguel, so just type the link in the chat, monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Just type it in the chat, monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. And Miguel, man, I'm not going, that's too much sentences, but just put one sentence, man, about your feedback, the impact the challenge had on you. I saw you in the challenge.
Yeah. It's funny. I got a text message from Miguel a couple nights ago, him talking about just speaking strategies that he's leveraging going forward and telling his story. So I'm really excited to hear about that. One night of coaching alone. I coach people. Part of my business outside of my partnership with Kimon, I coach people. I coach leaders, mid-level leaders, executives. You can do a couple of sentences, Miguel. Leaders across levels in organizations, and I ain't cheap. Just flat out. I'm not cheap. So what we're giving you in just 1 hour of coaching, 1 hour, one day, if you take action on just one of the things that we say in that 1 hour of coaching on the first night, you will 10x your investment. 10x easy. 10x in your investment in the challenge. The challenge, we give you amazing content, amazing, and we're coming from our personal experience, not just from coaching people, but from actually speaking ourselves. And something just unlocks. Can't explain it, y'all. Something unlocks when we get into coaching mode. Like I can't even explain. You just got to be in the room. But I promise you, 1 hour of coaching, that first night of coaching, if you take what we say into consideration and you execute, you'll more than 10x your investment in the challenge.
Yeah. Somebody's watching this inside of the Facebook group. Let me just warn you, okay? If you have a problem with FOMO, you want to sign up for the challenge, because you're going to be watching the challenge. People are going to be posting their homework. Folks are going to be asking questions on social media. Folks are going to be posting things, and you'll wonder. It's kind of like the Will Smith when you stand in the room like, where's everyone, right? Like, why didn't anyone tell me that this was going on? So if you are watching this inside of the Monetize Your Ministry Facebook group, hurry over to monetizeyourministrychallenge.com and sign up, because I don't want FOMO to hit you on Sunday or Monday when you start seeing these videos showing up and people are sharing their stories.
Yeah.
All right, let me see, Miguel. Wow. I don't know if I could read all that. Honestly, whatever y'all selling, I'm buying. I'm really about to make some moves this year based on what I learned. You've got to be in the room. I love it, Miguel. I love it. All right. I love it. I love it. By the way, you could tell I need glasses now because listen. So we covered myth number one. Myth number one was it's too hard, right? Myth number one, it's too hard to break into the speaking industry. Myth number two, it's too complicated. All right, Pierre, give us myth number three.
Myth number three. But isn't it only for certain people? Isn't it only for extroverts? Isn't it only for people who have climbed Mount Everest or who've been professional athletes? Isn't it only for nah? It's not only for certain people.
Yeah.
You recognize every speaker is not for every audience, but there is an audience for you as a speaker.
Ooh, hold on. Every speaker isn't for every audience, but there's an audience for every speaker.
Absolutely.
Somebody type that in the chat. I know it's kind of long.
Absolutely.
It's kind of long.
Absolutely.
Every audience isn't for
Absolutely.
every speaker, but there's an audience for every speaker. Somebody type that in the chat.
And I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. And embracing whatever uniquely makes you you, and that's what you bring to the marketplace. We were talking about Kevin Wilson. He's cross-cultural Kev, I think, on all social medias. He just gave a TED talk. He was a part of our challenge. He does, like, his thing is making chai.
Yeah.
Like, that's his thing.
Yeah.
He makes chai. And he makes chai and talks about the world. He makes chai and talks about relationships. He makes chai and talks about politics. He makes chai and talks about religion and personal spirituality. His thing is making chai.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
And people absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to be in the kitchen making my grandmother's collard green recipe talking about politics or talking about relationships, because that's not my thing. That's not my style of engagement. It's not the thing that I'm connected to. Chai is deeply personal for him. It's a part of his roots and his personal story and background and all of that he weaves in so perfectly. And he has found an audience in which he can go travel the world and make chai and give his talks.
Yeah.
But Kevin, every organization ain't gonna rock with that. Every organization ain't gonna vibe with that. So every speaker is not for every audience, but there is an audience for every speaker. And in the case of Kev, sometimes that audience just happens to be a TED stage.
Yeah. Now, here is what's so interesting. I think a lot of times when we see someone successful, we admire what they're doing, right? And we think one of two things: let me do it the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
Or we think, I can't do what they're doing, so I can't do this. And sometimes it's like, let's figure out the principle behind what they're doing, right? What's the principle behind this?
Yeah.
And if I understand the principle, how can I apply that to my personality, to my expertise, to my story, to my skill set? And I think, just going back to the challenge, that's one of the big things people leave with. They leave not feeling like, wow, Pierre is great, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
I think you leave feeling like, okay, Pierre did that, and I can do this, and this that I can do is needed in the marketplace, is needed by this group, is needed by this organization. Let me go do what I can do.
I think that's one of the things Miguel said, maybe in the second challenge, feeling like, I mean, I know Pierre, like, we're boys. Oh, he can do it? Oh, then, yeah, I can. And that's what we are wanting you to experience. So we're not trying to create a thing where we're 26 steps ahead of you and I pull up in the Maybach, come on, pulls up in a Ferrari, and we doing this from the middle of the mansion. Like, nah, I'm in my basement. He's in whatever room he's in. We're giving you our experiences, traveling across the country, traveling around the world, speaking. And we know you can do it too, because we've done it, and we're going to teach you the insights of how we've done it. We also want you to recognize, y'all, one of the things that just bothers me, and it's my own personal irritation. I'm working this out with my therapist and my prayer partner. Man, I hate to see copycats, man.
Yep.
Be you.
Yeah, somebody type that in the comments. Be you.
Be you.
Be you.
No one's gonna hire you longer term, at least in the speaking industry. We can talk about other industries, but no one's gonna hire you longer term for mimicking somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I watch a lot of comedians because I look at their stagecraft. And one of the things that really bothers comedians is when you steal their jokes and is when you steal their style. It's twice as much work to try to pretend to be someone that you're not and maintain that over a longer period of time. So if you're not high energy, speaker, fine. Don't be high energy. If you don't do cartwheels in the middle of your workshop, then don't do cartwheels.
Yeah.
If you don't cook chai, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but if you don't make chai in the middle of your presentation, don't make chai.
Yeah.
Do what uniquely fits you. And sometimes it's discovery. Sometimes you don't have it right in the beginning. A lot of us won't have it right in the beginning, but we discover that cadence and that rhythm over time. And once you just really sync up with, okay, yeah, this is my cadence, this is my rhythm, this is my voice, this is how I present, and you walk in the confidence of that, people embrace you. A lot of times we find pushback in trying to break into speaking and training is because we got somebody else's jacket on and somebody else's shoes. And people who are in decision-making mode are very perceptive. They know, nah, that's not you.
You're not being authentic.
You're pretending.
Yeah.
So come back to us when you realize who you are.
Yeah. Here is the good news for somebody. You are thinking, I can't get paid by an organization to do work for them in the speaking, in the training, in the workshop facilitation, in the whatever, because there's a long list that
Whatever.
the challenge. You're thinking, I can't because one, I'm an introvert. Well, there's a space for introverts. You're thinking, I can't do this because, well, I have an accent. I'm from another country. Well, there's a space for that. You're thinking, I didn't go to this school. I don't have this degree. Well, you have life experience. You've had challenges you've overcome. You have work you've done, that there's a space for that. And what we want you to understand, and this is where we're bursting myth number 3, that you don't have to be the person that you've seen on the stage to get booked to speak. You just have to be you.
Yeah. You don't even have to be the person that you thought you should have been by now.
Wow, that's so good.
A friend of mine, a colleague of mine, I dropped something on LinkedIn a couple of days ago, or last week, I think it was last week, and then he responded, and he said, many of us are winners at the life we have, but we're losers at the life we thought we should have had. And I was like, yep, man, can I borrow that? His name is Dr. Martin Pergler. Yeah, he said, man, many of us, we're winning in the life that we have, but if we compare the life that we have to the life we thought we should have had, in many cases, we'll lose every single time. And people need you to show up, even if what you're delivering is not motivational, it's not inspirational, maybe it's highly technical.
Yes.
People need you to show up as authentically you, with the story that you have, attached to the subject matter expertise, attached to the technical expertise. That's what's going to make it come alive, and that's what's going to make it resonate for them. And when you do that, things will start to look incredibly different.
Love it. All right, here are the 3 myths one more time for someone who just came on. It's too hard to break into the industry. We talked about it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's work.
It's
not
work.
Hard. It's work.
Yeah.
Myth number 2 is it's too complicated. And we said, no, what you need on one day, you don't need on day 1. What you need on day 1 is a clear message and a clear audience who needs that. And we'll help you discover that in the challenge. And myth number 3, it's only for certain people. I got to be like this one. I don't have it. And we're saying, listen, I love the line. Every speaker isn't for every
audience.
Every audience, but there's an audience for every speaker, every trainer, every workshop facilitator. And you are probably doing it in spaces already. And what we're saying is, let's help you find other spaces that will compensate you, and you'll speak to audiences that you were not speaking to before. And I think that's for some of us, maybe the money may not be the thing for you, but the impact and the influence. Hey, I have a message, and maybe I've only been sharing it in this one space.
Yeah.
But I know
that's
more
good.
people need to hear it. Let's help you figure out how to get to that audience so that the impact that you're looking for, you can actually make it. So let's talk. The challenge starts on Sunday, this Sunday, June the 22nd. The NBA finals will be done tomorrow, so don't worry about that. Right?
Be done. They done.
It starts on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's just say it's 2 hours, because I'm confident anyone watching this, you know that you need to sign up for the VIP. It's only $47 until tomorrow at midnight. So go to the website, monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Just type it in your browser right now so you don't forget, or make sure you write it down. Monetize Your Ministry Challenge. It's $47 up until tomorrow at midnight. And then it goes up to $97, which is still a steal. So if somebody's watching this later on, you're like, I missed it. Listen, just show up with more intensity if you missed the early bird. But if you're watching this now, grab the early bird. If you only sign up for general admission, bump up to that VIP, because you're going to tell us later on, I'm so glad I did this VIP for this challenge. And if you signed up, here's my last word for those who sign up, because I believe you will. Show up with your best energy. Show up, ready to learn and ready to work. Do the homework, because it works so much better when you work.
Yeah.
All right, Pierre, that was my last word. You give us your last word, and then we'll play one of these videos.
Listen, my last word is this. See y'all Sunday.
Yeah.
That's it. See y'all Sunday. Let's go.
All right. So listen, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see y'all for the challenge. Let's go.
This felt like lifting the veil.
I was struggling to define my niche and connect with the right audience. But once I took this challenge, I had a breakthrough.
The how for me was clincher. This is where to go to look. This is what it looks like, etc.
To just know how to do it has been such a blessing. And I want to say thank you guys.
So far, honestly, is realizing that all of the materials have been provided to me through life. And it's just a matter of repackaging, reframing how I use those raw materials to speak to an audience that's already looking for me that I had no clue was there.
Something that's always hindered me is I got to make it look perfect, because that's how I've always looked at my life. Like I have to prove something to somebody. When really I was trying to prove it to myself. And what I realized in this training is that God's already equipped me with everything I got.
And I am inspired and I am motivated to do what I can do to create a niche in ministry that allow me to take my gifts and likewise be a little bit more open to utilizing those skills and gifts in audiences that can impact the kingdom.